As much as we may wish we could, we can't follow our graduates to college and stand by to protect them from the dangers of young adulthood. Even if they would let us, it just postpones their learning how to protect themselves and, one day, our grandchildren. So we have to let them go out on their own and trust them to keep themselves safe in an often dangerous world. But we don't have to send them unprepared. Over my years of coaching and of interviewing experts, I've identified the 5 top safety skills to make sure your graduates have before we send them off to college. Thank you for watching Safest Family on the Block series on college campus safety. The purpose of this series is to keep students safer and parents less worried with easy-to-follow advice based on field testing and expert knowledge. If you like what you see here today, give us a like and a subscribe to help us create more series like this. And if you love it, share it with somebody you love and consider backing us on Patreon for early access and other exclusive perks. Now, on with the show. Number 5, intermediate to advanced swimming. Unless your grad is going to school in the middle of the desert, they are going to be engaging in water recreation of one kind or another. Boating, water skiing, swimming, diving, or just splashing around in a pool. Although they are nearing true adulthood, almost nobody that age will be willing to admit they aren't strong swimmers. So we should send them to school swimming strong. Even this last summer is an opportunity to take some brush-up lessons to fine-tune both their skill level and their awareness of how good they actually are at swimming. If they're already a strong swimmer, maybe consider getting them into a water rescue course. It will improve their safety game while simultaneously getting them a job skill they can use during their college years. Number 4, how to use on-site resources. This one's pretty simple, but requires a lot of front-loaded work your grad is unlikely to do on their own. It starts with finding out what on-campus safety resources exist. Find the ones that exist for all students, the ones in place for their dorm, and any special considerations your grad might need. Once you identify them all, find out the first step in accessing them. Do campus police have an emergency line other than 911? Are there call boxes on campus? Is there an app? How does the medical clinic on campus work? Who do they report stalking to? Where can they get mental health support? Once you've completed that list, the final stage in giving your grad this skill is to give them the list, then go over it together until you're confident they have internalized how to get help. If you're lucky, they'll be willing to help with earlier stages, but this is the one you can't do for them. Number 3, weather awareness. This is more important for grads going to colleges in climates far different from where they grow up, but can easily save them a lot of discomfort and potentially save a life. To realize why, think about how well a graduate from Los Angeles knows even the most basic weather considerations for a winter in Boston, or what a Minnesotan knows about hiking in the desert near Arizona State. Knowing what weather to expect, how to dress for it, and the signs of dangers like dehydration and hypothermia are the base-level skills your grad should go to college knowing about. Beyond that, especially if they're likely to spend time outdoors, they should know the warning signs of worsening weather and what they should do if they're likely to get caught out in it. Although we're talking about skills here and not equipment, while you're on the subject, a set of the right heavy weather clothes makes for a good graduation gift. Number 2, listening to their gut. Trust your intuition is common enough safety and self-defense advice. We hear it from most experts, but here's the problem. Most graduates are the worst people on the planet with this skill. That's because they just finished 12 full years of being told to listen to authority figures instead of their gut instincts, while also being under immense pressure socially to conform. Everybody younger has had fewer years of being trained not to trust their instincts. Everybody older has had more experience in the adult world, where arbitrary punishments for self-advocacy are rarer and less severe. Relearning how to trust their gut is an acquired skill, and one you won't be able to teach them in full before they go. But you can help them by encouraging it, teaching it by example, and reminding them that they are the ultimate authority over their own safety. Most important, show them they can trust themselves by demonstrating how much you trust them. Before moving to number 1, let's look at 2 honorable mentions to also consider. Start with first aid. At the very least, how to properly put on a Band-Aid and apply Neosporin, and which over-the-counter medications to take for which symptoms. For more experienced graduates, stop the bleed training or wilderness medicine won't go wrong. This is an honorable mention because medical training isn't about preventing danger so much as responding after it's happened. Intelligent risk-taking. Let's be honest for a second. Almost every one of you has a graduate who, during college, will experiment with alcohol, drugs, and/or sex, often at the same time. These months before they leave are your last chance to talk with them honestly about how to assess those risks, who to take those risks with, and how to mitigate the dangers that surround them. This is only an honorable mention because it's too complex and important to just be an item on a list. I've put together a whole video about it. Before we get to the number 1 question to ask about campus security, please do hit the like and subscribe buttons. If you think I've missed something, leave a comment. If you love content like this, share it around and spread the word. I really appreciate the support. And now, number 1, who to ask for help. It may feel like we covered this already when we talked about how they can access safety resources, but this is something different. That was how to find the people whose job it is to help them, and to get help by having them do their job. But not all help comes from official corners. This is about who to ask for help in social settings, when out late with a dead phone, when drunk or high, or on a date that's turning bad. We know who to ask for help with our problems after decades of trial and error. Our kids haven't had those decades yet, so what can we tell them beyond trusting their intuition? Every situation is different, but a few good rules apply. For young women, a group of other women is the statistically safest group. For young men, a group of other young women is still statistically safest, but a group of mixed genders is usually more comfortable for the people you approach. For all genders, the person you approach is almost always safer than the person who approaches you offering help. For all genders, families are also reliably safe, although these are often thin on the ground in places where college students get into trouble. Always remind your grad that you're available if they should need anything, even if all you can do is spring for an Uber at 3 in the morning. Okay, that's it. It's an incomplete list, but they're the skills I've seen that are both highly important and rarely covered elsewhere. Is there anything you disagree with? Anything I forgot? Tell me about it in the comments. For more college safety tips for new graduates, check out the videos here to the right. And don't forget to like and subscribe. The liking helps us bring you more content like this. The subscribe helps you not to miss it when it comes. Stay safe, everybody. I'll see you next time.